Welcome back to the Bigwater podcast. Here we are again. We kind of reach deep into the library, if you will. We've tried to bring you some kind of diverse, different things, different people doing different things in the fishing world. We are going to head out to the Dakotas on this one. And as you know, I don't like to talk a lot. We're going to let the guests do that. So we're going to bring in the Shilling crew. If you guys don't know them, you're going to shortly. So here we go. Boom. A fellow ginger. There we are.
Yeah. Used to be. I'm gray now. So
Chad and Bo Shilling. I remember Chad from way back in the day when we were doing some walleye stuff, which is kind of what we're going to talk about. Now, the next generation has come in. Like you said, we have Gray. We're not going to talk about, how long we've been doing this because then it just sounds really bad. But enough that we have kids that are old enough to do it. So, well, thanks for giving us your time. I know you guys are busy guys. You run an outfit as well. You want to say where in South Dakota you are so I don't mispronounce it?
Go ahead.
We're out of Kaska, South Dakota. I mean, we're just 35 miles from Mobridge here in a small town of 42.
How many?
42.
42. See, I could have said it wrong. Nobody would have known. There would have been like 40 people mad.
Yeah.
That would have been just fine.
Yeah,
So
it might be less than that. I don't know.
Yeah, so you guys listen to this. Chad has been doing the walleye thing for a very long time. I think that's where I first ran into him was back maybe PWT or FLW or whatever it was. Way far back to remember. Yep. We were both younger gingers, and now we are slightly grayed, a little bit older, and enough that
just more experience. That's all.
Yeah,
just more
it was a PB. We call that not professional and not biggest. It was pre-bow. That was pre-bow.
Pre-bow, there you go.
I didn't get the red hair, thank goodness.
No, what's that supposed to mean? You're 2-on-1 here.
Exactly.
And you are not a big enough boy to be talking no smack to me. But in all seriousness, so we've got Bo Shilling, his son here, and we're gonna go. I don't even know where we're gonna go with this. Like, I don't really prepare a lot of things. I think the big deals is we like to kind of just hear the stories of guys. And we recently just did one with Tommy Harris. If you remember Tommy Harris, the painter and all that. And a fascinating one, little shameless plug. This is all about you guys, but definitely one that was really cool because when you hear a guy like that who, traveled around and did all kinds of stuff, and he was just, a lot of guys are quiet. They want to talk about the stuff, but it was fascinating talking about some of the old Devil's Lake things and like that. And just, kind of having a conversation about just fishing. Right. And we want to know a little bit about the Shilling story because as much as we have mutual friends or have been around each other in different events and things through the years, sometimes you sit down and you're like, oh, really? It happens all the time with stuff, even if I was to live in the town of 42. But so let's start with you, Chad, and let's go back to the Ross type days of, when you got in, threw your hat in, how you got started with that. I mean, were you like me that, when you did those early tournament years, you were still guiding, I'm guessing, or that's how you started?
Yeah.
So
We'll go way back. Like, I had one of the bigger classes in a little town just north of here, Mobridge, South Dakota. And in second grade, everybody said, what are you going to do? And I was like, I'm going to be a walleye fishing guide. And there was never, and back then there weren't guides, I'm 50 years old now. So there wasn't a lot of serious guides. And there was never a question. That's what I was going to do. I never had any other plan. That was plan A, and we just stuck with it the whole way and did it for a long time. Me and my brother started fishing local tournaments. I think we won our first one. He was 13 and I was 16. We won one after trying for a few of them. And we're like, well, we're only so good if you can win at home. You got to go win somewhere else. So we started traveling down to southern South Dakota and stuff like that and got on a run. We won 4 tournaments in a row out of Chamberlain. In the Platte area and went up north to North Dakota and won one. And I was like, we got to go. We got to go do this, man. It's time. And
4 in a row helps the pocket and the confidence.
Well, them tournaments, you didn't win so much, but you sure felt cool about it. So yeah, and I knew a lot of the pros from working at resorts or them traveling through and seeing us. And I was, I did it in 2005 is when I started fishing professional tournaments and, I did good. I mean, I didn't over excel. I was always competitive. I was always right up there, but I made money every year but one in 10 years of doing it. So it was a great thing and I don't regret it for anything, but my buddies that do this for a living, the only thing they always complain about is they didn't watch their kids grow up. And so in 2015, I stepped away to watch these guys play summer sports and do that stuff. And Bo was old enough to be my boat boy at that time. So we fish together every day. I mean, since he's been I say he started when he was 8. He went before that. Before that, he was more of a pain than he was worth. But at about 8 years old, he was netting fish and getting the guys, beverages out of the cooler and baiting hooks. And I pretty much just sit there and giggle and watch the little turd do it. And to say he's had a little time on the water, I don't know that he would miss a day, because when he wasn't in my boat, he was in my dad's boat. This is third generation of Hawaii wings and walleyes right here. And he'd pretty much work every day. And it's pretty hilarious though how he started. I bet it was 3-4 years before Bo could care less if he caught a fish. He was all about the business. He wanted to make them happy. He liked to get them drunk. He thought that was fun, giving them too many beers. And but netting fish and taking off fish and showing that he could clean them better than most adults at 9-10 years old. He was into that until about 4 years ago. Well, Live Scope. When Live Scope came around.
Let's stop for a second there and kind of back up. Let's not jump in too much to Young Buck,
Okay.
even though I know this is where this is going.
Yeah, you sure do.
But even before, because I think a lot of people, when they look at that, no different than me, they're like, okay, so you got to the second gen, but how do we even survive, you on the first gen, right?
Yeah.
So back on your guiding days, it's like, okay, it's no different than, I say me, but we have different struggles, right? Like I live on Lake Erie, which is, arguably the greatest walleye fishery ever.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of fish, but there's 5 trillion people that are quote guides, right?
Yeah.
Everybody on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, everybody works 4 10s in a factory here on the weekend. They're a guide, and they do, charge $100, and that's a different struggle that we have. I think for you guys, it's just getting people there. If you're in a town of 40 something, right?
Yeah, we are, but we're going on, I think we're probably on 5 or 6 years where we have not changed customers. We've added some new bodies, we've added some new kids, but we have family crews. We run pontoons for the most part. We do run boats for, a little bit more advanced, like more learning than fishing as much. They want to learn about stuff. We do a lot of trips out of our Lund boats for that, but we do a lot of family trips out of our pontoons where
some like Bob Prop stuff.
We have generations. I mean, seriously, 3-4 generations is a normal day out on the water, and 5-6 people with 2 or 3 little kids. We take babies all the time. It's a family, more of a family outing than 2 guys going on a fishing trip.
Yeah, but again, I'm sure now, because you've been doing it so long, because we're kind of older. We used to be. I'm not. I don't want to keep beating the horse here, but like when I was like age discriminated against when I started, because you were the kid. Now they're like, "Hey, old man, get out of my way," and I'm like, "You are not talking to me." Like, I'll put you on that block. But to build that business up, as quick as you say it, that takes a long time to get to the point where you're like, "Hey, we're paying the bills." And, those people are coming back, or, sometimes I know, just even again, with my own experiences, you have people, I've fished with people for 20 years, but sometimes the one guy says, "Hey, we've got a wedding we got to go to in Costa Rica, so we're not going on this and that." And so, and hey, now you got to fill a weekend or whatever it is, just realistically just stuff, right?
It's pretty crazy. We are extremely blessed. People love the small town atmosphere. You're not traveling. You do have to go a ways to get here, but once you get here, you don't lock a door. Seriously, we don't even know where the keys to our motel. We have a couple lodges, motels, and just over the years we've added things, and I think that's one of our biggest draws. We have absolutely giant walleyes right now, but we have good fishing with the small town that people can go back to their roots when they get here, and that's been pretty important. People love to bring their kids from the city and show them that you walk around the middle of the night, nobody's even worry about you or look for you, because you're plumb safe. And it's country living. And if you've been to South Dakota and been out in the country, everybody's friendly. Like, our people who don't use this are like, everybody tells me how to catch them, and I'm like, welcome to South Dakota. That's how it works here.
So, it's like my buddies that live out near you, they always call them chickens and that, but you make a good portion of your deal with the pheasants too, right? Like city slickers from back the other way, they love them pheasants for some reason.
We do that. So that was the big part of our business. Until about 5 years ago, I would make more in a month of pheasant hunting than I would in 9 months of guiding fishing.
Really?
That's changed now. Our pheasant hunting business is bigger than it's ever been, but we have 6 young guys. Like, Bo's not even the youngest. We have them all from 19 to 22 years old that every day, plumb full. We run it every day, and every time we get a new kid, we're like, we're not going to have enough work for you this first year. You're going to learn struggling. And every year they're begging for a day off in the middle of July because they've been going every day for a month. So we're blessed. Our clientele, our word of mouth, everything, we just try to do it right. You know, if you run the business right and you do what we do and do it right, I don't worry about the guys that are doing it on the weekend. I don't worry about any other competition. We're just going to run our business the way we know how, and what me and Bo have bragged on for pheasant hunting and fishing. Come be with us, and if you can have as much fun as we do doing our job, you're going to have a successful trip because we're simple. Him and I take a vacation, we go fishing and hunting. We go to work, we go fishing and hunting. We keep it simple, and we have a blast doing what we do, and it's all we like, so that helps.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be married to it. I think it's a huge advantage having, your son in the business, and obviously some of the younger guys that you can trust, because you can't take that for granted. We actually are our second father-son combo that we've had on here. One of them's a really good friend of mine. He actually is the guy that caught that 10-pound smallmouth, the second biggest or third biggest of all time. Yeah. Crazy. Like, that's a whole nother story, but you guys can watch the podcast on that one. But it's I mean, just seeing that stuff like with the kids, and it's a huge thing. You get a blow day or you get this or that. Hey, your kid can jump on the boat where the neighbor can't, or whomever, you know what I mean? And then you guys, that trust factor, and you're a team, like a real team. And
that's what happened with Bo. We threw him in the boat at 12 years old. We had a guide get super sick. One of our older guys got sick, and I was like, guys, I don't have a guide. I mean, it's the middle of June. You can't find one. They're like, well, Bo's around. I'm like, Bo's 12. He can't drive you to the lake. Like, he can't get you there. And they're like, we'll get him there. Can Bo run the boat and catch a fish? I was like, yeah, that probably you can do. And they're like, cool, we'll take him. So Bo guided at 12, and he ended up doing them guys twice that year. They came back twice because he crushed them, and he beat my butt, and I had to hear it on the radio about 84 times that day. So, yeah, it was he's never really got a choice. This is what he was going to do, and I'm glad he liked it, because you never knew what was going to happen if he didn't. We wouldn't be sitting this close to each other.
Yeah, I guess I've got some friends that, it didn't work out like that. They wanted it to, and they just wanted nothing to do with fishing, like the polar opposite. And you're like, that's got to be like a crushing thing for a dad. It's like, I still love you, but not nearly as much.
No, and that's how Bo was. Seriously, I didn't think he would do it. He liked to entertain the people, but he could care less about catching them. I'd take his sister. Absolutely pointless having her in the boat, because all she wanted to do is pitch jigs and fish around the guys and grab their rod and hook it for them and say, you guys can't do this. And she wanted to catch them, and he wanted to work. And now both kids are really good at it. My daughter works with us every day too. She's in college right now, but she boat boys for me every single day. She can identify as a boy for the boat boying. So
interesting. So, I mean, you guys are like at a crazy good fishing situation right now, but I can remember back, I don't know what year it was, but I'm going to guess it was like around 2000-ish, where you could catch a 6-pounder out there and it'd be like 32 inches long because there was like no food or whatever. Like, give me a little bit on that to make sure I'm not too far off base.
No, you're right.
I can tell you one thing. If our whole body of water is reliant on bait right now, we're gonna be okay for a while, because it's insane.
Yeah, now we have the food. Now we're lacking numbers, and that's probably why they're growing to where they are. But we have a huge number of giants. But what you're talking about, it's like that 9 through 11, 12 period. They ran the schmelt out, and the big fish were just starving. And like you said, you'd catch a 32-incher, weigh 5.5, 6 pounds, and you won the tournament if you caught it, because nobody could even catch a big one. Now, I mean, the last time I was out before this pheasant season went completely crazy, I probably seen more fish over 8 pounds than I seen under 20 inches. It's there's just an absolute ridiculous amount of big fish. And what we've been saying for 3 years now, we're going to run out of these things. Like, this can't last. And it seems like every year there's more. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, we can, and we're in the mecca of it. I mean, the big fish live right in our backyard. And what's seriously crazy about our business, very few people are coming to catch them in our business. They want to catch eaters and have a family fun deal, and we catch a big one for them whenever we can, but 80% of our days are out just pounding on eaters.
It's funny you say it, because just seeing pictures from other guides, because of people that are listening to this that maybe don't understand, like Oahe, where you guys are at, is a dammed up portion of the Missouri River, but it's like, I don't know, 100 miles long, 100 and how many?
227.
There you go. I mean, just forever and snaking around there. And so, again, through these different, we call them ports back home, but we'll call them towns out your way. It's just, it's like different mentalities and different people that, like, you're too far away, though, even though you're in South Dakota, you're so far away that, you really don't have to interfere with another guide operation or whatever, because this guy's boundaries are kind of here to here, unless you have some weather or something, probably. But it's funny you say that, because I see the times these guys just want to catch fish. Like, they're not, it's almost like they don't even want to go after it, because I've spent a lot of days out there for a guy that lives a long way away from you. And it's like, going to the areas, and we aren't going to get too specific on that, or I may get murdered by a few of my friends that have a South Dakota residence. But, doing what it takes to catch the biggest fish out there is generally, you're not going to be in the same area doing the same thing. And again, the amount of days I've spent a lot of time out there, going back to even like with Gary Roach back in the late 90s, and how you do that, and just how few people you see. Granted, 200 miles, and at times I don't know how wide it is, but I mean, some of those bends are pretty, I mean, it's pretty, I mean, it's a big body of water.
It completely changes. It goes from just like a fast current river system to a deep basin, kind of,
all the way down to the bottom.
So, like, you can fish the Missouri pretty much any way you want to.
Yeah.
Well, and that's sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was like, that's what we do. Bo is, I don't know if anybody's ever been happier to graduate high school, but he did this spring, and every year he's had to sit and listen to us going up and starting on the northern end of it. Like, we follow him all the way to the dam in North Dakota, and we target these fish, and we follow them down. I used to go to Pier. I used to go to the lower pools, below Oahe, and it's fun. It's awesome. It's so much fun down there. But this is the same amount of people, but giant walleyes, and you get to do them fishing a river system. So you get to kind of learn all your skills all on the same body of water. Now, we do have to travel a couple hours to get up to them up there, but we just follow them down in the spring, and you can catch them from pitching jigs and fast current, hand lining, to trolling crank shallow, to follow them on down and do it like everybody does it. So we're blessed. We say that over and over. People say that, too easily. We are blessed for a simple and to do what you want to do and live where we live. I don't know that anybody has it better than what we have it right now.
Well, Bo's probably too young to fully grasp it yet. No offense, but like Chad, you've probably, for the last 20 years realized, like, when you started doing the tournaments, like you said, like where I live, primarily we don't have a diverse fishery from the standpoint of, like, we're a giant open water suspended fishery. Yes, there's other things you can do. Yes, you can forward face them and stuff now, but I would say that you can't really get good at a variety of tactics where they're actually applied, because that's what you can or should be doing, like you do, on a reservoir. And it could be a lot of reservoirs, but obviously yours with more fish and a more diverse system, like pitch and jig. So now all of a sudden, when you go someplace else, that you've got a much deeper box of tools, if you will.
Pretty comfortable usually when something changes, but it's still the great game, the mind game it plays. And I know you don't want to jump forward, but I'm so freaking excited for next year to go, because
don't.
I'll let you go. You control the pace, because I'm excited to talk about it. It's going to be fun.
So, but again, because I think that why I don't want to do that is because I think that kind of like where we're going to go with this is the same. Like, these are the steps you have to do, whether it was just you or not. Like, these are all things, like, you can't run a marathon before you start doing some training. This is all part of the thing. And he's probably starting to kind of realize this, and I think he'll probably really appreciate it in another 5 years or something like that. But even going back, like you said,
I'll tell you where Bo really appreciates it. We're hiring these young guys, and they're as excited as he is. But I mean, Bo is experienced beyond, like, everybody's like, oh, Bo's been given all these gifts. Nope, that's not a fact. Bo got up every morning while I sat and drank coffee and got my boat ready and tied my stuff up that needed to be fixed. And one of my biggest problems with being a guide, I love every minute with the clients. I love fishing. I love figuring it out. I hate getting my stuff ready and putting it away at night. I hate that part, but I take it seriously. I want my equipment right every day.
Bo, you want to move to Lake Erie?
Yeah, no, you don't get to. Yeah. And that's what but we have several boat boys now and a couple of our guides now, but that's what Bo had to do that for about 6 years of his life. And then his buddies started working for him as boat boys. And he's like, when I get up in the morning, you're going to have this stuff done, like everything. And now them guys have turned into guides, but they didn't get the experience. And Bo's like, you guys got to know this is what's going to happen when these conditions change like this. And it's pretty fun to watch how much he, even though he looked like he was just scowling as at his old man, he was absorbing a lot. And I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed by no means, but what I've taught him and now he's teaching me, it's a fun dynamic that we most people don't get this opportunity.
No, and you know, everybody, it's like what we do is I always tell guys, it's like we're a non-athletic, underpaid professional athlete. And I mean that only from the standpoint as a fishing guide, like it's not an important deal, right? Like we're not curing diseases or anything. People don't think about it like that. But I travel to a lot of places and pay for guides, like saltwater stuff, like and my off-season stuff, you know, I'm not as big into hunting. And I go to Mexico, Florida, East Coast, whatever. And a lot of them are guys I know, but just like, you know, I pay them because it's how they make their living, right? I go fish with them for 3 days and stuff. But and I see where a lot of these the bow or the younger generation that's not there a lot of fisheries right now. And the guys that are my age, they go, I've got like 5,000 days fishing on the Great Lakes. It's like I would be 6 inches taller, you know, if I was still going. Yeah, and so, like, you know, realistically, I don't move as fast. I would allow Bo to live. I have a really nice place here in Lake Erie. Bo, if you know, if you ever get sideways with pops, I mean, I could offer an attractive. I mean, we'll talk later, but in all seriousness, you know, so many places I'm going, it's disappointing to me because they're really bad guides, and these guys that just are in there and they're there for some cash. They're not really into it. Like, again, Bo or you or none of us 5 years ago, we were, you know, sometimes I think about that with myself, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think 10 years ago, like I thought I knew what was going on. And now I realized like I knew just enough, right? Forward facing has taught us we didn't know as much as we thought we do, but all things. And again, now you look here and it's like, man, this next generation, they're either not working or they're just there for in and out because they think it's quick money. And it's, you know, maybe you guys are a little isolated, I think, with that, you know, with having some of those young guys. You know, again, for
you know, though it's still a small niche. There's still very few kids that are gonna do. They just don't.
Like, how many if you have 5, like you mentioned, how many do you got to go through to get to the 5?
Bo was pretty hard on him. One thing about Bo, he's not much BS. He would bring him to me and he's like, Dad, this kid's awesome. He'll be fine. And I'm like, okay. And he started with our first kid, this Ben Beetle, and it's another name you'll hear. He was Bo's partner in the Governor's Cup. And when he brought me that one, he had a lot of trust in me after that because that kid would absolutely dive on a sword for any one of our family or our business. And he comes from a huge family of car dealers. And I mean, he could have done whatever he wanted selling cars. They have several dealerships and he is extremely passionate, like to a fault in this fishing and hunting stuff. And he never went to college either. He moved right into one of my rental houses and he's there every morning for me, you know, and we got Hunter, we got Brady Gear, we got a bunch of them kids that you hear their names out here in tournaments. And man, I'm telling you, Bo is kind of put together. Well, pretty much you have put together that crew. I would have fired any bad ones, and everyone he brought me is now full time for us. So
that's good. So getting back to the guiding itself, I mean, out there, you mentioned like the old, I say Bob Props to senior type of old pontoon boats. I remember Ron Linder at one of our tournaments out here said, Bob, there will be no pontoons in the PWT. That'll flower in a rocking chair.
I remember that very well. Yeah.
But so with a lot of that stuff, are you guys like doing the old bottom bouncer thing for the guide stuff? Is it spinners and just
bottom bouncers and plowing through them?
Yeah, that still works.
Yeah,
we got guys all the time, and I mean, I'm out there every day from late April to late July, you know, guiding, pulling bouncers, and guys are cranking around me, and the next day they meet me at the clean shed. They're like, you really did get them, didn't you? And I'm like, yeah.
When you say cranking around, are you talking guys pulling lead core? Or?
Yeah, just lead core and whatever snap weights and stuff. Guys try to force things, and for some reason, the dumbest thing always works the best. And that's pulling bouncers. There's not a lot of guys who do better than us. Anything else, you know, like
it's
you go out and live scope, and live scoping is a huge part of it now. But you give me 8 bottom bouncers and 6 guys, we're gonna put a hurting on them usually.
We call them.
Do you guys tie your own spinners, or how's that work?
I do. And
Yeah,
he-
a little bit of
He's
both.
starting to buy him. His fingers are starting to get
Oh yeah,
tight
here
and
we
old.
go.
You know?
I can't see.
Either that or you start needing these.
Yeah, yeah.
I tie all my own stuff just because I don't want to pay $4 a leader line, you know, and
And a smiley
and a
blade.
smiley blade. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Everybody, one thing I've made my crew, where it's more competitive, I get it why people do things, but we are 100% open because we rent a lot of rooms too. You know, we have a lot of housing available for people that do their own thing. And I mean, we put our rods and the rod holders are standing up. Everybody can look at our stuff. We don't hide anything from anybody. We tell them where we were, how deep we were, what we were doing. And the last few years with the lack of fish, we move every day.
Yeah.
And you tell people in the morning, you're like, we're not sure where we're going. We got to go drive and look. We'll find what we're looking for and then we'll fish. And I was like, most of the time, and we'll tell them where we caught them yesterday. And we're like, you probably don't want to go there. I mean, we just, you don't seem to get a real consistent bite anymore. They bite every day, but they don't bite in the same areas. You just seem to have to find them. And that's our lake herring. You know, we went from a smelt base or a gizzard shad base to lake herring, and them herring just move and move, and we just got to search for them. And
You know, growing up, I used to think like the walleyes were so wind driven, you know, and I'm starting to think it's more herring because you know,
out
like,
here, yeah.
like like wherever the wind's blowing, like you'll see the herring there way before, and the next day you go there, and I mean it's just full of fish, you know. So that
Chase the bait.
live scope, we just chase the bait around, you know.
Yeah.
You go to one spot one day, it's loaded. There might not be fish there. You go back, check it the next day, and it could be loaded. It's just our bait gets blown around so bad. That's why one
Well,
day,
I think those two are related, right? Like the wind
yeah.
and I mean that's not a separate deal.
Usually we'll go 10 miles north one day, and everybody will be like, "You going back there?" Like, I think I'm gonna go 10 miles south. The next
Just go
day.
the other
You
way.
know,
Yeah.
we just drive the opposite direction.
And our numbers aren't there where you used to be able to beat a school of fish for 3-4 days. Now you're going to get the active ones. You're going to struggle after that. So you might as well go find a new fresh batch. And it's kind of nice. Like you never beat up an area really. You can always go back there and get a few if something doesn't work, but just our electronics are so good. It's kind of fun just to find new ones every day at the same point.
When you're saying that the fish aren't there, you think that overall, or the South Dakota says that your actual population is down. We just happen to have some good sized fish on the top end of that.
Yeah, it's definitely down. There's no question. We used to, when Bo was guiding as a kid, his hands looked like he'd stuck them in a blender every day. Like he would handle 150 walleyes easy.
Now you catch your limit, but you don't let go any. You know.
Yeah, we don't catch a lot of small fish anymore.
Growing up, we'd throw back four times our limit, trying to
every
get a limit every day.
Yeah, and now we barely get our limit or don't get it, but they're 17 inches and bigger. You know,
Yeah, they're
just
very nice fish. And there's some days, don't get me wrong, there's some days where you absolutely beat the crap out of them, but they're all nice fish, and you're done at 10:30 because you got a limit of 18 inches in the box.
But most of the time now, it's you earn them now. I mean, it definitely is different, and that's the cool thing that Bo's got to see too. I mean, back in the day, I could have gave Bo a canoe and told him he had an hour to catch 20 walleyes, and he wouldn't have got 100 feet from the dock, and he'd have caught 20 walleyes. And you don't do that no more.
Yeah, growing up, half the time we wouldn't even start the big motor. We'd back it off the trailer, put the trolling motor down, and fish in the bay, and
right there by our dock. Yeah.
So when you said that you're open with the guys, like again, because I've been by your place there when we were fishing, and you know, it's like, I mean, you're remote, right? And so it's like, yeah, you get these guys here, you want to help them. Obviously, it's advantageous. You want them to come back, and it's not like it's you versus them type of thing or whatever. So that's super cool, and I know you believe that and preach that. But have you ever had the clients or the people staying with you teach you stuff? Because I know just with myself, you know, you get these guys come in and there's 6 boats and they're doing something different because they don't know what to do. And sometimes that works even better yet.
Oh yeah, no, we used to, you know, back when you're trying to build an ego or, you know, trying to be cool, my dad or somebody would tell me you got a tag boat. And it was always the worst thing ever because they think you're lying to them because they're not catching them, or they're catching them doing something you've never even heard of. And you're like, how in the heck is that working? And I don't have that. So yeah, absolutely. Now I don't care. I understand the fishing world a lot better now. And if you're not going to check your ego at the door, you might as well not play very long because the stress level is going to kill you. But it's fun to watch new stuff come. Now with social media, it doesn't seem to surprise you as much. Everybody seems to know more things, and and every
Oh my
podcast you can
gosh.
watch, you can learn. So it's, and I don't have to, because I got a bunch of young kids who watch everything and they tell me about it. So I don't even have to put in the work anymore.
Social media stuff is just out of control. I think there's people that'll tell me that my sweatshirt's yellow and I think they believe it. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's
I mean,
how it goes. So.
that is the unfortunate part of fishing, because I think that I don't know, go off on that tangent, but that's a bad deal. There are
Well, the
good
other
things.
thing is, should have been here yesterday. Anymore, there's not so much of that. You know what's going on every day. Heck, half the time it's hour by hour because people post everything they do, and if anything, we're really terrible at. Bo and I are not good at social media. We don't do enough, putting stuff out there and things like that. And to be honest, if we're gonna stare at a screen, it's gonna be casting a jig on it at a big walleye, and we don't do enough of that probably. But our business is good enough right now that we don't have room for any more, so we're not gonna push that hard.
Right. Well, in the next phase, that may be something Bo's going to have to look at, though, because that's kind of part of the game. I sit in these. I swear sometimes that I'm not a fisherman anymore. I run a media business essentially, and with these companies, and you're in these meetings, and you're just like, I don't want to look at any more spreadsheets, but that is the business end of things and working. That it's a definite hard thing to balance, and I'm glad I got there. But at times you kind of wish you go back to like, hey, Dad's just going to go fishing today. Can you handle that for me? One of them things, right?
Yeah.
I am staying there. I promise you. I will retire before I go the other way. I'm gonna stay competitive. I do plenty of stuff. I got so many friends like you in the business doing what you guys are doing. I do a few shows a year. I'm not gonna say they're my favorite, but I won't do them with anybody I don't like. And we screw around so much and have so much fun that sometimes the show comes out of it. I've never had one not come out of it, but it works pretty good, and I do that little bit that I have to do, but him and his sister are gonna have to take over that tough part that you're doing. And he's got a really cool girlfriend who's pretty smart, so I'm pretty sure he'll work this out too.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah, it's funny you say that too, because I don't know that I've publicly said it, or maybe don't want to now, but I have definitely turned down opportunities with things that I guess from a public perception would have been good, but I know the behind the scenes, and I didn't want to be associated with the bomb that probably will drop at some point, or even if it doesn't, from people behind the scenes, that I just don't want to be associated with certain people.
Yeah, no,
Part of it, I guess. When you're doing what you do, you're always gonna get something like that, and you just gotta make the right decision, no matter.
yeah, that's why we're excited. I hope I have enough help for Bo in the future here. He's gonna dive full force, and I'm gonna be the washed up guy following around watching, and we'll see how it goes.
So, Bo, getting into you doing the thing, let's have both you guys go kind of back and forth. So, Chad, I heard through other friends, and stuff, like you made him earn the deal, didn't give him a boat, like all those. So give me that kind of process as he goes into that, because I think that's super, super important. I just use myself for people that I've been around. And again, this isn't about me, but I just think that if you get it too easy, you don't appreciate it, right? Like the incline going there is half the battle.
I'll actually start this because Dad, this is actually pretty funny. So I used to use Dad's boat. He bought a center console Angler Quest in 2020, and when I really started getting into the fishing and stuff, I would take his boat. I would drive to Whitlocks and I'd go jig pillars because we'd get like one over a night. We thought it was the coolest thing ever, and that's kind of
35 miles every night with
Yeah.
my pontoon.
he let me use it, and I did burn his gas right
Do
away.
you understand economics yet, Bo?
Yeah.
He does now.
Yeah, I've been paying for my own fuel for a while now. So the funny thing is so that was 2020, and when I was 14, which was 5 years ago now, so that was 2020. He called me one night, and I was like, "What's going on, Dad?" And he's like, "You bought a boat." I'm like, "What do you mean I bought a boat?" He's like, "I bought you a guide boat that you're paying for." I was like, "Are you serious?"
Nice.
He bought me a $40,000 boat without asking me when I was 14 years old.
And
Good
got to
Lord.
make payments. Got to start.
He was like, "You're gonna learn how guiding works." That's what he told me. So it's kind of how I got into it. I bought a 24-foot Bennington. That's what I started guiding out of, and never looked back, I guess.
He had it sold within like 2 months. He's good at moving his boats. He had that sold and ordered a bigger one and ordered a different one.
No, I didn't. I
You
bought.
bought mine right away.
I bought.
Yeah.
I sold that one after that guide season. I bought his Angler Quest, which he made me pay for. And,
Yeah, every dime.
And he ordered a new TMC, and
We've been there for a while.
and that, he did let me use his. He bought a, what was it, 2006?
Well, you started in the Alaskan. I had bought Al Linder's camera boat, and Mike and the boys that worked for the Linder Media crew, I don't think they ever ran around a rock pile. I think they ran over every rock pile with that boat.
Was that Mike Hayner? Was that his?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
they
Hayner.
normally they had a ladder. How about those little grooves in there from where they had the ratchet straps holding the ladder down?
That exact
yeah.
boat you and I watched. That boat is the one I bought,
Yeah.
and I had that for a lot of years. And when Bo was probably 15,
No, you haven't had that for.
it was a while anyway. Bo had to run that for a while, but I was pretty scared. And that was the old school, no hydraulic steering on the 90 horse tiller.
That was a forearm workout.
And he was about 85 pounds taking that 90 horse out there. And I didn't care if he hit anything. I just wanted him to come back every day. And yeah, he took that out for one season. And I was like, well, I talked to Lund, and they were actually out here pheasant hunting. And they're like, we need to get you out of that boat. If you're going to be a Lund guy, you got to have a Lund that doesn't look like Hayner's had it for 10 years. So we got a new 2075 Pro V and rigged it to the max with.
That was like right when LiveScope come out.
Yeah,
We had that
the
thing
first
set up.
before ever anyone was doing it.
I can't believe him being an old guy and everything. I can't believe he put a LiveScope on there, to be honest.
Yeah.
Wow, here we go. Here we go.
Yeah, it's there. It's
Bo,
there.
you know what I do when the guys start talking like that? I fold the seat down and I said, let's arm wrestle right now. Let's do
Yeah.
this. Let's just get this shit
Yeah,
out of the way.
He's probably got me yet, but I can say that.
Yeah,
No,
and
Funny story
Yeah.
that, again, I think people listening to this won't appreciate quite yet, and I probably shouldn't say it, but I was texting back and forth with Mike not that long ago,
yeah,
and on some other things, and I was like, hey, would you do my podcast? And he's like, yeah. Because I've known him since I was about Bo's age.
yeah.
And any rate, and somebody else had heard about it, and they go, you're gonna have Mike on your podcast on purpose? I'm like, I'm not sure what that means, but
We
I think
love it.
it's-
He comes out pheasant hunting every year with us. He has for forever now. We've done some shows, and every year he's like, Chad, we're gonna just shoot one little show here, and typical Mike and the camera crew. As soon as we get one shot, we're trying to do 2 a day, and then we're going to another lake, and we're gonna fit in some more stuff, and I mean, we just have a blast. So that's why I always help those guys out, because we have fun, and I can tell Mike, hey, I'm checking out. I'm tired of this. We're done. And he listens and laughs, and we do what we want to do. But he's showed up for probably 7-8 years now, killing pheasants with us in January or December, and always a good time.
He's
the
good shit.
relationships are the best.
No doubt. So we're kind of earning our way in. Now I'm going to tell you a short story, and I'm not going to say who it was because he'll be mad at me, but we were driving up and down the Missouri River there, and we're catching them. And he's like, hey, I want to check one more spot. So we roll in, and he's like, shit. And I was like, what? And he's like, I had a guy in there, I don't want to go in on him. And I'm like, who is it? Because there's like nobody. I mean, we're in the middle of like Deliverance, right? At least for an Ohio guy that lives outside a big city. And he's like, Schilling. And I go, Chad Schilling? I said, what's Wheel in there? I ain't seen him in 20 some years or whatever. And he's like, no, it's his kid. And I was like, really? And he goes, yeah. And I goes, any good? And he goes, actually, he's doing really good. I was like, yeah, but is he a dick bag? Or he's like, no, not really. I was like, oh, that's good.
We know who he's talking about.
Yeah.
We know. We won't say his name either, but I should.
But yeah, so it was just kind of funny. And I'm like, oh God, we are getting old. And now we got the kids whooping up. And you, I think, won a tournament. It was either that next day. We won't get into specifics because I'm going to get murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah, we won't get into specifics. I don't want to get murdered. You already know. But you went by us. We were staying down there at a mutual friend of ours' place.
Butt a couple times too.
That's what I think that guy right there has been more conversations with Bo in the last 3 years. Like,
I was like, what?
That's what drives Bo. Like, you got to have somebody.
I was like, what?
And it's cool that they get along. That's what I like, because it's.
Well, we all have, me, him, and Bo all have the same like mental age. No offense. But I mean, I might even be below you. We might be below you, Bo. We might be rolling around 15 or so.
Yeah.
But that's cool. I mean, That dude right there, he's forgot more than most people know.
So what's really funny is I was actually running the guidebook at a lodge when I was 24, 25 years old, and he was like Bo's age, and he'd come help us. And I mean, put the word competition into a guide day, that guy could do it. Like, he was psycho. And he's only a few years younger than me, so it wasn't that big an age gap.
Yeah, I
but
think we're like 4 years because we're the same. I think we're like 4 years different.
yeah, we were every day we're like, oh my gosh, I mean, we're just guiding. It ain't like we're trying to embarrass everybody every day, but not that guy. He puts it into it full throttle no matter what he does.
I was so like frustrated. I was like, what does he know that I doesn't? That
I
I
know.
don't. Like, I put in so many hours because of that guy.
Yeah.
The
That's
funny
good.
story is he jumped into a tournament up here, and again, everybody can figure this stuff out, but he jumped into a tournament up here, our South Dakota Walleye Classic, and I think I've won it 3 times.
I've never won it, and I was.
And Bo took my 2075, and I was like, I'm going to take my daughter, and I'm going to take my pontoon, and I'm going to win a classic. Well, at the night of the rules meeting, he walks in the door, and I'm like, oh, crap. Like, I gave Bo my boat. And I'm like, now he's going to come in my backyard and whoop me here, and all I need is my boat. Well, I don't know that I could have. It should have been good. It was one of them stories. Everybody's got them, but Bo had the story on that one.
That was a classic, and it had to be 22, I think. Yeah, I think it was 22, and I was in his boat, and first day, I come in, and I throw the biggest bag the Classic's ever seen, a 6-fish bag. It was like 27 pounds or something. It was like 27.04. And then he come in and beat me, and I was like
28 and a half or something.
No, he only had me by like half a pound first day, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like, what? How? Like, I was mind blown in my bag, and then I got beat, and I was like, holy crap. And then day 2, I learned about tournament fishing. And that was one of the first tournaments I ever fished by myself, and made some really bad mistakes. Just kept fish I shouldn't have, and ended up catching the biggest fish of my life at the time. I had to let it go, and
had his overs in the boat. He took a video so he could prove it, but he weighed a 12.10 or something and had to let it go for the day.
Yeah, just it was rookie mistake. One of my first.
I don't know that you'd have beat him because weighed. Oops. He weighed the biggest weight that's still ever been weighed, I think.
No, that was huge.
And but that fish would have made it really fun. But
yeah,
that's what grows. Yeah, you're in trouble now. It wasn't me.
I learned the hard way. I didn't.
What do you do?
I didn't know nothing. Dad was just like, just go do what you do, and.
So, Bo, you've got to learn the hard way, right? Like you do know, you'd rather learn it or get the hard lesson at the Classic instead of an NWT or something, right?
He was always hard on me, like, yeah, do it the right way and stuff. And at the time, you don't really appreciate it. But now that I'm starting to do it myself, you really do appreciate it. You do always. Learning the hard way is probably the best way, even though it's not the funnest way.
No, I mean, there's no substitute for hard knocks and a lot of time on the water, right? Like there's no shortcut for either one of those things.
So he's had more than his in his days. He's had more than any kid his age should have in both. So I mean, it'll turn him into what we see coming now.
I guess in the intern, because like as I see this, because I'm just visualizing this whole process, right? Because I've been there, and you're going in, and at what point is Dad like, okay, no more fun fishing, Bo? Because that's one thing that I regret or wish I could do is go out and just have fun from the standpoint of, and you'll understand that people listening to this are gonna be like, yeah, whatever, dude. But when you don't have to catch them and you can experiment and throw some different things, like, if you were throwing a jig and wrap or something in chrome blue, you're going to catch them, or whatever your favorite one is. But it's like, no, now all of a sudden we're going to go out and almost try not to catch them to learn more, right? Like those processes. So
he actually, I was doing about 2 things 2-3 years ago, like just when I figured that live scope stuff out, and I was doing the same stuff, and he called me a one-trick pony one time. It was his exact words, I believe. And yeah,
love it.
And then
I kind of
it got you.
Yeah, no, it like bothered me that.
No, but it got you. And then we were in a tournament up in North Dakota, and we did a circuit together. And I'm very bad at this as a parent. I said, told my wife Shonda, I was like, Shonda, I'm gonna watch the flaws. I'm gonna try to hold off as long as I can when he's upset over what he does when it don't work out, and I will. I'll explain it to him afterwards.
It was Sakakawea. We were fishing a casino tournament right before or right after
Dewey won.
After Dewey won that NWT event there. We had a tournament the day after it, or no, the second day of the NWT. Was that the first
Didn't he
day
go
or-
up there and fish that one too?
No, he come up and fished it. Yeah, he come up and fished it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he did come up and fish that.
Yep.
Yep.
He did okay. Yep.
And we were on really good fish, but I was being stubborn and trying to make something work, and didn't work out. And dad took over, and I mean we had a decent day going. It wasn't a terrible day, but I was trying to force something, and I learned the hard way. Sometimes you got to be versatile.
When you
And he got
the
mad
look
at
on
me.
your face, I hope people that are watching this on YouTube that actually get to see the visualness. If you could have seen the look on Chad's face if you're watching this on Spotify on a treadmill or something, you're not getting the full benefit of the you one trick pony. Because I immediately kicked back to you're not holding the goddamn flashlight right, son. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like one
yeah.
of those deals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, well, what happened is, so the day before the tournament, I had he brought his own boat up. He had bought a boat at the time. Or no, he was actually running a little boat of mine. And practice, he was just crushing all these fish, but he's 17, and and I'm thinking he might be exaggerating or a little more excited than he's really coming off that.
I gotta tell a story because it's pretty funny. So in
I mean,
practice,
did you have to get him a scale too?
Yeah, in practice, I had a really good practice, and going into the day before the tournament, Dad's like, we'll pre-fish together, just kind of figure out what we're gonna do. So I hopped in with him, and we went and tried a bunch of new stuff. We tried something he wanted to try, and the day before he crushed him doing it, and it didn't really work. But we were still gonna do that, like some days we're just not doing it. It was blowing really hard this day too, and he was like, Bo, I'm gonna put away, because I was like, Dad, we got to do this.
Yeah, he's like, we have to go do this. This is the winning
Dad, I was
fish.
like, I'm not kidding. These are the winning fish, And he's like, well, I'm gonna put away everything in the boat, get everything, all my lines tied up for tomorrow. I'll give you 15 minutes or whatever. Till I'm done tying up to catch one over. I think he said 7 pounds.
Yeah.
Cockaway, a 7-pounder is it?
Well, it was better than Dewey's average. I
Yeah.
looked at Dewey's average for the first day of the tournament. I was like, you catch one over 7,
Yep.
and I give you a half hour.
Yeah.
That's pretty kind of you.
Well, I would just
Because I told him, I was like, Dad, this is lights out. Like this is good. This is a good.
Yeah,
bite.
so if you say lights out, 30 minutes should be enough. Lights out, okay. I'm with
It
you
took
so
him
far.
10.
How-
It took him 10.
Yeah, 10 minutes. I had an 8.5-pounder in the boat, and he just looked at me like, "Are you kidding me? Like these might be the winning fish." And then
And I said, I'm gonna sit in the back and I'm gonna stay quiet all day. I said, this is your show. Go blow
Net
this
boy.
out.
yeah,
And
it was a tough tournament day.
I've been in a lot of tournaments. I've done a lot of tournaments. I've never seen a train wreck go like that where he had them all stuck. And I mean, get him up. He literally lost a 10-pounder. And people say, oh yeah, you don't know, but we know. We catch a lot of them, like an insane amount of 10-pounders. And he got it up to about 15 feet below the boat. It come unbuttoned. He chased it for a half hour and got it to swing 2 more times where I was sure it was going to eat it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Bo, this is like the first half hour. Like, this is going to be epic. Like, I'm going to tell this story the rest of my life. I'm just standing there waiting for it. And it finally was over it. It was over it probably in the beginning, but I've never seen one turn that aggressively to come back after it'd been hooked.
It was a good learning experience.
Yeah.
I had it down, and I just had to adjust a couple things, and I was being stubborn, and I was just getting short bit, like I wasn't getting them to finish completely. That's why I was losing so many. They were just short biting me, and in my head, I'm like, they're biting. I'm just not getting good. Like it was bad luck. My timing's off or something. I'm trying to force something, and I mean, I learned a lot that day. At the end of the day, he got a little upset, and I don't blame him because I was being stubborn, and he walked up to the front. It took him about 10 minutes to get a 7-pounder.
I was like, Bo, give me just a minute. He goes, Dad, you're not going to catch them. They're not eating. I was like, well, let me try something. Let me do something that you haven't done. He's like, what do you mean? And I was like, you haven't changed anything all day. You were stuck in your head. And buddy, I want to just derail you for a moment and show you. And it took me 2 casts, and I put a 7-pounder on the bottom of the boat. And this is where our day goes even funnier, worse. It died.
Yeah.
And in that tournament, you don't get a half-pound deduction. You lose the fish.
Yeah.
Oh,
And so-
no kidding.
Yeah, so we come in a fish short, and they took our 7-pounder from us, and
I had a 5 and a 6 pounder in the box and dumped.
and them were the only 2 little ones he hooked.
Yeah, it was just
It was a train.
it was a good, it was like a really good.
and
It was honestly a good thing in the long run because I learned so much just from, like we were saying, from struggling. I mean,
the only thing bad on that deal is when we got home, the amount of tackle that showed up at our house.
yeah,
Like he started ordering everything he could think of to switch things up on them,
yeah.
and where you talk about that experimenting, I liked 3/4 of all his ideas, and 7/8 of them didn't work, but they were good ideas. They
It's
were
kind of
stuff
funny
that,
now.
No, they
'cause
didn't.
I'm
They
like-
didn't work that day, right?
That's
Like
right.
you know.
yep, that's right.
Well,
It's
I
funny
think
now
with-
because what's that?
I think with fishing is it's controlling stubbornness, because a lot of
Yeah.
times stubbornness keeps you in the game, but you just have to know, right? It's just that, because I mean, doing what we do doesn't really make sense most of the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny now because like we were in Devil's Lake and we were fishing a certain way and Dad's never done it, and he was like, after the tournament I kind of showed him like what I was doing and how I was catching them. He's like in love with that style now. He's like you never would have imagined.
So he tells me at the day of the tournament, we got our butts kicked by the locals up there in that tournament. We did real well. I mean, we placed and did fine or whatever. And the day after the tournament, he goes, Dad, I'm gonna stay and I'm gonna work. We had to guide not the day after the tournament, but the day after that. And he's like, I'm staying that day. We have off in between. I'll drive at night, get home, and guide it home the next day. He goes, I'm staying. I was like, yeah, I will too. And I mean, he was halfway home, and I'm still on the water when the sun went down the next day at Devils, because just got to do something new. And in my world, that's rare. And I couldn't set it down, and I didn't even want to go home. I wanted to make my wife put someone else in my boat, but I couldn't. And but there's the passion. I'm not saying we're really good at what we do, but we sure put a lot of work into it. And calling it work is a dream because we love it. It's so much fun.
Well, and that's one of my questions, because it's almost like I fight this almost weekly myself with, how much time are you going to put towards, because guiding pheasants and walleyes is what pays your mortgage, right? Like that's what keeps these guys all going. And it's no different with, I mean, again, I'm going to tell you my opinion and I want to know yours, but it's fishing is like running a bar from the standpoint of if you're not there, you can say what you want. I've had guys that if I'm not standing there, there's a problem. But if I was standing there, it's not a problem. It's just like, you know what I mean? You just have to be there and like, well, okay, Ross said we're going, so it's fine. But 10 other people could have said something and it wasn't or whatever. But again, taking that time away. And I wondered how long of a leash you were going to give, maybe not only yourself, but Bo, because when you step back and now you're doing these tournaments, you're spending a lot of money. Tournaments are generally, I mean, there are a few people that have made money, but even I would argue the guys that are some of the best and great friends of both of ours through the years. And you only think about that win and this win, and you take the number of tournaments they did and you start dividing it up and you're like, I should have guided pheasants.
Yeah.
No, I'll guarantee you we'll never get to step away from guiding pheasants. We have, we run the show only when my wife lets us.
Yeah.
And,
He's not the boss.
yeah, we have a boss, and she is the sweetest lady on the planet. But there will be times when she puts her foot down, and I'm not gonna lie, and this is Bo will verify it, and she will call in and verify it. She kind of pushed us to do this. She's really excited to see what the future holds in this, and we wouldn't do it without the staff we have. I mean, we brag on our boys, on our guides, but these guys are phenomenal, and they won't make decisions that they don't want to check in with both of us, and to say we put too much faith in them is probably right on, but they've earned it. They really have. They're it's just like having 3 more sons. I mean, it really is. And
it'll either go really well or really bad.
Yeah, and that's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So it isn't perfect because obviously tournament season's during our prime season for guiding, but the schedule's better next year. We didn't even know the schedule when we decided.
Yeah, let's just get to the elephant in the room. We've talked about the behind the build up. So now what are we doing next year?
Going on tour, I guess. Going on the National Walleye Tour. I talked about it a little bit, and the old man kind of talked about it, and we're going to tour.
So what is the process going to be there? Because Pops is hanging along. What's Pops' role in this?
He's coming to fishing with me. I told him, I was like,
Yeah, I'm not gonna go watch him practice. I'm not that old yet. We're gonna go do this.
I kind of, before the summer even started, and before I even got into all the bigger tournaments I fished this summer, I kind of told Dad, I was like, I kind of want to go do this while I'm young, and I'm not really tied down to anything. I don't have a wife, don't have kids, and I'm kind of just I can
It's the
leave.
right time.
Yeah,
It
I
is
can
the
get
right
away, and Dad was on the wall, and he was like, "Kyle, you're having fun, aren't you?" And I'd call him and tell him how my day went fishing for the national team championship pre-fish, and he's like, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna come do this with you." He's like, "Well,
I could save him a lot of headaches that I didn't get
yeah,
the heads up on, and just on certain stuff that I learned back in the day. Even though the game's changed, I'm still connected to a lot of the guys that do it. And to be completely honest, we have no expectations. We are not going there to make a living. We are not going there to be a professional fisherman who's going to get paid to make appearances. We're going there to have fun and not even make a name. We don't care. We hope people know who we are when we're done. We're going to come home and run one hell of a good business back here and enjoy life. And when I did it back in the day, I was stressed. I shouldn't have been doing it. I definitely 100% didn't have the money to do it. Um, had quite a few good years. So I made money and I didn't lose money doing it. That's kind of a goal. Bo has done one thing. He's done a lot of things better than me, but the incredible thing Bo's done is his investments are insane. He's put away money. He's bought the right things. He's the opposite of every guide. I always say a guide's got to fail at everything else in life and then he becomes a guide. Well, um, we've always done this, and Bo pays attention because a lot of Bo's clients are extremely wealthy, smart, rich people, and they've taken Bo under their wing on that kind of stuff, which I would have been the worst person to ever give him advice on money. I married the right woman. And he's done a lot of smart things. He's doing well. And it's not because mommy and daddy gave it to him. We didn't have it to give it to him. We haven't made money until the last few years we've done real well, and so he isn't going to go broke doing it, which I think puts him ahead of a lot of people. The stress level's not there for them reasons. His stress is going to be he doesn't like to lose. He's like our friend that I shouldn't have said anything, but he's like that guy. He don't like to lose.
Well,
Nobody likes to lose, but they take it a different level.
Yeah, there's like Michael Jordan, and then there's other people, right? Like with those levels. But yeah, and in all seriousness, I mean, don't take this as a dig, but I mean, I would think that when your dad was doing it at 19 back in those years, whatever that was, the late 90s, it would be much more difficult than it would be for you now, because not only you have your dad sitting there helping you, but also, the forward facing thing is you don't have to have as much history and as much knowledge. I mean, I don't mean that as a dig in any way, but it's just,
he has
you
that. He has that stuff, and he's smart enough to put it aside and go do what he's learning at that moment better than most people. People fall into old habits. He don't. He does what he learned that day. That's a trait that, like, I fall back into stuff. We'll be out there and I'll be like, Bo, this worked one time when they were in this mood. And he's like, I don't care. I'm gonna throw this, and this is working, and I seen this one on someone's page and it works now. And I mean, we are gonna work well together in that. And the other fact is, I can honestly say he's lied to me about a lot of things in life, but when it comes to fishing, you're not going to have a more honest partnership than we have. I mean,
we have seen a lot of we've seen a lot of failures in people we name, which we won't, but especially some from your neck of the woods where that, all of a sudden, you know who I'm talking about there too.
Yeah, but I was blessed in that part. I had great partners. They were crazy, some of them, but I had great partners. But yeah, I know who you're talking about. We can move on.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bad things. That would be one of the biggest things I would tell you is be careful who you share and do things with, because
we don't. We're not gonna. That's not a. I have nothing against teams. I have nothing against big teams. I just feel like every person you add a little more drama. We're not doing this for the drama. We really aren't. We don't want to be handed nothing, and we also don't want to give away what we learned. And to be honest, probably two people that'll talk to less people. I don't know that anybody will talk to less locals when they go somewhere, especially on the one we're going to do now, just for the fact that I have a lot of history on next year's schedule. So,
I mean, you've got 4 big waters, right? I mean, you've got you've got 4 good places, catch some good fish, and
Yep.
you know, in the past they've gone to places, you know, I don't care what tour it is or what event. I mean, there's some of them you just go, oh my God, like this is just going to be a grind,
Yeah.
like brutal. But you've got some good bodies of water there. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. We'll have to check back in with you because you know, see where you go with things and see if Bo gets his social media game a little more pumped up. Not that I trust me. I've you'll know if I win the lottery or something because I won't be doing the social media stuff. I just want to go do what I like to do, but it's realistically it's a part of the game, and you know at some point you have to embrace some of those things because as you get opportunities, they want a little return on investment.
He was talking about it this morning. He was like, you really need to start doing the more of that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I do. You know.
And I'll tell you something that I keep wanting to say. I don't want to say we're blessed because but we are. I mean, that's the way it works. But we work with a lot of people in the industry, and the opportunities we can't announce everything yet, but he's got so many people that have the amount of sponsorship this kid has already landed, and I mean fast, like insanely fast. Like I did it for 10 years. I won an Angler of the Year on the FLW. I won a championship. I was top 5 in Angler of the Year race like several times. I didn't get a tenth of what this kid's had thrown at him, and he don't take any of it for. I won't let him take any of it for granted because people just aren't, you know, they aren't blessed with that kind of. But they know him. They've been around him, and he's got a dad who talks too much, and that's probably one of his worst things. But he's obsessed with it. He lives it, and he's gonna walk the straight and narrow. Or his old man is still tougher than him, and we'll straighten him out if he don't. So
yeah, I mean, we could both arm wrestle and just pile drive you. Just pile drive you.
Yeah,
if you come out to Erie and you start talking to, I'll drive over there and pile drive you.
Yeah. No, it's an exciting next step to our life, and one where I don't know if I've looked forward to much more things anymore. But I mean, this is Bo. Bo's got he's got this stupid sixth sense. Like we just come back from a Canadian moose hunt where we hadn't seen an animal in 6 days, and you have these friends, and you're that guy too that could. He's just like, Dad, we got to walk up this draw. And I'm like, okay. And we're walking up the draw, and I'm like,
horseshoe guy, I love it.
And he's like, we're gonna kill moose up here. And I'm like, the wind's blowing directly at our back down this valley. Bo, this doesn't have a chance. But I don't tell him.
So this is what I said. I was like, Dad, it's the last day. They can come from any direction. What's it hurt? You know, we're going to do this. It's like, I got a weird feeling like we're going to shoot a moose in here. And we walk up this draw, and Dad probably tells the story better, but
he does this kind of thing though. He's one of them guys that does that. He's like, we're gonna shoot a moose here, and I'm standing there just as nonchalant, like I could have just had a cup of coffee and just I was letting him do his thing because my thing hadn't worked, you know, and I was just like, whatever. And he put a Boone and Crockett Canadian moose 8 yards from me, and I shot it at 8 yards, like just like a couple weeks ago. And he's never called moose before. He's never done none of this stuff, but he does have that horseshoe. You know them guys. I mean, they're good at what they do, but having that horseshoe, and he's he has that. That is one thing the little turd has. So
we've got a guy that works with us, Country Steve. If anybody that watches our videos knows Country Steve, and Country Steve has horseshoes like tattooed, imprinted, embedded.
Yeah,
it's just the same exact thing that you said. But yeah, you never know where things are going to go. I never thought I'd be doing a podcast, but you know, all these things that come out of it, you know, you get to reconnect with old people. We had Sam Anderson on here a little bit ago.
Man.
We've had Larry Dahlberg, Al Linder, Gary Roach, a lot of those old guys who kind of want to document some of that stuff. And now we got some young bucks on there too, like you, Bo. So
getting old.
Getting old. I almost got to 20.
I felt like I was in the boat boying for him yesterday, and now I'm 19. I don't even live with the guy anymore, and
yeah, I kicked it. He bought a house before he graduated high school, and he moved into his own house a week before he graduated already. So.
Hey, it's kind of nice. We used to argue more when I lived with him, so now that we get away time, we're really good buddies. So it works.
Yeah, none of this is surprising me. No.
That's growing up. But we wouldn't trade any of it. We've had we're the normal father-son. We've had our headbutts. Everybody does, but I think all of them have made it better. I mean, it just seems like I don't know. We work together every day. My old man passed last year, and we'd been working together for 30 years. And yeah, we just turned Bo over, and now he's going to take the spot, and I'm going to be the one telling him how dumb he is half the time instead of my old man telling me. So.
He's not going to be. We're already there. Pretty much,
Well, we'll check in and see if there's a divorce or if Bo starts his own guide service after next year in the NWT.
No. I get to quit and he can have it. That sounds way like a better plan.
Walleye wings and catfish coming to a town near you.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I greatly appreciate you guys giving us your time. You're going to have to check back with us and maybe we do a year-end tournament recap. How about that?
That sounds like a plan. I look forward to it, and I don't care if it's good or bad. There's one thing about us, we do call it the Shilling Shit Show. Things will happen. It'll be fun. I mean, it's that's just our life. I mean, I guess it's everybody's life, but ours always seem to be funny things that everybody can make fun of us for. Like I started the pheasant season 3 days ago in the ER covered in poison ivy because when I got done with the moose hunt, I went to Kansas on a bow hunt, and I got covered in poison ivy and found out us gingers are probably a little more allergic than most people. Like I have it everywhere right now. So yeah, that's fun when you're walking and sweating and chasing roosters when you're covered in poison ivy. So
not fun. Not fun.
No.
Well, it is a small world. I mean, just think about that tournament that you won. I'm not saying that when I say we would have won it, our mutual friend, but he did not enter that because I came out to fish with him. He's like, no, I don't want to shorten your thing. So just think about that. I've already given you basically one win. I mean, I'm going to look at it like,
hey, no.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I appreciate your time greatly. And so if they want to go fishing with you, where do we find you guys at?
Walleye Wings and Walleyes, Instagram, Facebook, just Google search, call mom. She's the boss. Her number will be on the website.
My wife, Shonda, takes care of all the stuff that we don't want to do. We can't say we can't do it. We just don't want to do it. And HawaiiWings.com. We're easy to find and even easier when you find our town because if you get lost here, you're lost for about a minute and you've already seen every street. So
42 people.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
We do it all.
A little crowded, but we're getting by.
Pheasant hunting, fishing. I do live scope trips now. I've been doing that. So
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you giving us your time. I know you guys are very busy and we'll have to reconnect here and get a little update as far as how those things go. Like I said, I'm sure you guys will still be talking to each other. Maybe you can like buy us lunch or something, Bo, if you do really good, or I don't know.
Yeah, maybe, hopefully.
It'll be fun.
In all seriousness,
We're gonna
appreciate it.
Thank
you for all you guys.
Yep. Thanks for reaching out to us. It's an honor.
Yeah, appreciate you guys giving us your time, but appreciate all you guys tuning into the Bigwater podcast. We're coming up on our 100th episode very quickly here, so make sure you tune into bigwaterfishing.com. We're also on Instagram, Facebook. We're even on TikTok now, all that good stuff. So if you can't find us there, you probably can't catch a walleye either, but we're going to have some giveaways and some things here as we get this 100 episode rolling. So appreciate you guys tuning in. Spotify, Apple, all those good things. Until the next episode, we are going fishing.